Hello, back again, Angry Welshman. Now, just to start off this video, just to get a little bit more content out sometimes over the next short while, I wonder if anyone wants to ask what sort of content I should go into next. Like, should I delve outside of Flat Earth a little bit and go into other sort of conspiracies? If anyone's got a video that they want me to look at, you know, like, let's say, Subphotonic, for example, here has got something else called Titan series, where he believes that because a certain island looks like a certain animal, that's proof that that island used to be a Titan. You know, it's like Devil's Mountain. You know that where is it in America, I believe, or is it? I can't remember what it was, but it's got the same hexagonal pattern, let's say, as Giant's Causeway, an island. But he seems to think that that used to be a giant tree. You know, that sort of thing. If anyone wants to, any sort of conspiracies on, let's say, history or anything like that, just give me a shout out to that. Leave a link in the description to a video, and we'll see how it goes. The only trouble is these people tend not to listen, because I remember a couple of years ago I looked at this guy who believes that all ancient technology is all just, you know, condensed, it's turned into rock, and that our technology is just created from that. And literally, all I asked in the comment was, why do you believe this? Quite honestly, I think this is even before I discovered Flat Earth. And I asked him, quite innocently, why do you believe this in the way that you do? And the response that I got from him was, goodbye, and then blocked me then, essentially. I'm like, wow. So you're not very confident on what you're understanding then, is it? So yeah, if anyone's got any other videos that you'd like me to do to get away from Flat Earth a little bit, get away from the madness, it'll be greatly appreciated in some ways. I can probably bring out some fresh content. Like eventually after Christmas now, after a few months, I might be in a proper job, an animation job that I've got my degree on. So I might be earning a bit more money. I could be able to get a good camera. Because I'm not doing Patreon, because I don't really think it's fair. But as I don't think I'll be able to put as much videos out as it would require me to do so. So I don't really want to start taking people's money. But if I get a bit more active, maybe Patreon could be a way of doing it. Or if I'm Jeranism, provide like 4 or 5 different ways on paying me. Right, okay. Let's get on to this. Now, look who's back. Subphotonic. The absolute nut job himself. Where I just saw one of his older videos where he literally drives past SpaceX and just basically shouts out, fake, the Earth's flat. Fucking SpaceX. He keeps on calling rockets a controlled explosion and nobody will go on them. Yes, how do you think engines work? Engines are filled with controlled explosions, technically. Just that rockets are bigger ones. I don't really understand what his problem is. I mean, like rocket cars, land speed record, that's essentially a controlled explosion. But hey, let's get on to this topic. Right, I haven't watched this video, so it's going to be a bit of a blind thing. If this video goes too long, I might cut it off at a certain point. Because I've been told that I'm good at sort of the common sense sort of thing. So I'm going to leave the science and the maths to all the bigger ones like Cool Hard Logic, Slice Barcane, Young Blue Skeptic, you know, and all those kind of awesome YouTubers, which I really do think they should go and subscribe to them because they are brilliant. Right, let's get into this.
Yo, here we go.
Bugger off.
Coming to you from Long Beach, California.
Whoop-de-doo.
I made it here. So if anybody's in Cali and wants to get together, message me or give me a call. Or
That's the funny thing. Flat Earthers always like to get together, but they don't like to get together in a controlled environment and just chat with actual, you know, as they like to put it, globe believers. Or normal people, as I like to call them.
Or leave a comment. We accept the reality of the world which we are presented. It's as simple as that. The Earth, this is not the Earth, this cartoon image here. How old
Yes, it's the blue marble image. I've mentioned this about 1,000,000 times.
were you when you learned about the ball? Photo or painting?
Well, you tell me, because you're allowed to do digital artist sort of renderings of something that's real. If you know what I mean, I could provide you now with a painting of a car. Does that make cars fake? No.
Is that a photo or a painting? Looks kind of fake to me.
Good grief.
Enemies on Earth, friends in space.
No. They're not enemies, you... Good grief. This isn't the Cold War, for crying out loud. There's tension between them. But if you understood what the International Space Station is, the International Space Station is sort of peaceful ground, essentially, to where they can do things. There's no politics or anything brought on the ISS. There's more than just America and Russia on there. There are Chinese, Italians, British. There's many different nationalities on there. But they're not enemies. This isn't like, this isn't the Cold War, for crying out loud.
The sun is close. Notice the corpuscular rays geometrically angling towards the source. Its source, the light source, is...
You do realize the light beams there are fake. You do understand that, right?
angling away from it. It's close. See how it's close? That's like a cloud. That's like a cloud. This acts as a cloud. The sun is close.
We've been over this, and I'm not gonna go into Google search and keep on bringing up examples of basically like you can get this sort of same effect through light coming through the trees. Does that mean the sun is directly above the trees? No. And if it was close, the sun would basically get astronomically larger as you went up. No one's ever flown above the sun or come anywhere near to the sun. You know, and this is a new video. This is, well, not new. I think this is October 23rd. It's about nearly 2 months ago. So still, this is a concept that's been talked to death about by, normal people and globe earth and flat earthers alike. And it's something that's, people like him, they're so close-minded. They're not interested in listening to other arguments. All they're interested in is basically improving their sort of encyclopedia of their flat earth bullshit. And that's all that matters. That's all they understand. That's all they want to read.
That's close. NASA scam. Don't worry about the haters. They're just angry at the truth you speak because it contradicts the lie they live.
Okay, whatever.
Okay, so here's the flat earth, and here's your north node and your south node. Rahu and Ketu. Lunar eclipse, blood moon, solar eclipse. Nodal.
You gonna actually provide any evidence that Rahu and Ketu exist? Yeah, I think you've done videos of that before, but they don't. The globe Earth model explains that. Explains this formation. Now, I would like to actually ask you, what force is there, right? What laws of motion is there to make the sun and the moon do this? You have absolutely nothing. All it is, this is just a model to basically easily explain, no matter how ridiculous it may look to you, just to explain everything away. Oh, and look at this, here's the yin-yang symbol, even though yin-yang has got nothing to do with this.
Axis shift, sun and moon, analemma over tropics. Sun and moon annual circuit, Capricorn, equator, Cancer, moon phases, flat earth.
Even though moon phases make literally no sense on the flat earth.
Eclipses. So this is really, everybody needs to study this.
But what's to study? You haven't... This is my issue, right? You're telling people to study this, even though you've got no background information, no laws of physics, no laws of motion, no visual things, that this is what it does. You have nothing.
Whoops. Wait. Uh-oh. Alright, I'm going to try to full screen it.
How you look when you get all triggered by a meme I post. How I look when you get all triggered by a meme I post. Do you hear that's probably got nothing to do with
How
flat
you
Earth?
look when you get all triggered. Superman on TV. How
Yes, but yes, this looked completely
like
different.
that shill Joe Rogan says. Hey, I saw a 100-foot gorilla on TV. They call it CGI. Shill alert. Schizophrenia, a long-term mental disorder of a type involving a breakdown in the relation between thought, emotion, and behavior, leading to faulty perception and withdrawal from reality into fantasy and delusion. When you think
You're gonna provide any somebody who basically is, well, I don't know what the flag and that's supposed to be about. I have no idea. A long-term mental disorder type involving a breakdown in the relation between thought, emotion, and behavior, leading to a faulty perception. So, in your mind, then, so just because people believe in dinosaurs, not believe in dinosaurs, they know facts about dinosaurs. Hell, I've dug up fossils before. I know plenty of people who have. Hell, like a young teenager, like a 12-year-old kid in Wales, dug up a new species of dinosaur himself, found it himself. I think they called it the Dracoraptor. Right? That was an amateur paleontologist that found a skeleton of one of these things, a fossil, I should say, not skeleton. And yet you just, no, it's fake. You know. So again, you're claiming that just because some people know about dinosaurs and the Earth being a globe, they're automatically suffer from schizophrenia. What the?
you're spinning through place, spinning on a ball through space, came from a monkey,
No, that's not what evolution teaches.
you might be schizophrenic. Space is fake, okay? When a globe lover throws his 2 cents in and you have to find the perfect meme.
What do you mean 2 cents in? Huh? No, this is essentially, flat Earth is essentially discrediting or ignoring anything a normal person says. Because it's not what they want to hear. So they automatically assume that the normal person's talking shit. Ooh, pardon me, I do apologise.
Oh, that
The globe lover is about to jump. We have to warn him. Sir, you are too dense for the... Oh, for good grief. I would like to point out that the human being would accelerate. And the only way something can accelerate if there's a force applied. If it's all about density, right? What basically happens if like we've been over this before? What happens if the air density is the same everywhere? You know what I mean? If the air density is the same, that means there would be no differential in speed or momentum as an object falls. Because acceleration is only achieved through a force. Right? The sheer existence of a vomit comet and its parabolic curve and, you know, the public dives, the sheer existence of that actually proves the existence of gravity alone. Done. Because if it wasn't, right, that means you'd achieve the same result in a parabolic curve just going really fast in a straight line. And please explain to me, flat earthers, why it only happens when you go down, not when you go sideways or up. Please explain.
globe lover is about skin of the air.
If a house vacuum can easily lift air away from the... What the hell? Why doesn't outer space do the same? No, space doesn't suck, you bet. I'm not going to swear, I'm sorry. I need to make this more family friendly. Right. Space doesn't suck. That's not what it does. Basically, you've taken the word vacuum, which a vacuum basically means nothingness, and then connected it to a vacuum cleaner, so you automatically think the space sucks. No, that's not how it works. Understand physics, please.
Air balloon. The balloon material's no barrier, and we all know that it has to have a barrier.
No, it doesn't.
We know that water doesn't curve or
Yes, it does.
convex into a ball,
Thanks to gravity, yes, it does.
especially if the ball was spinning at over 1,000+ miles an hour at the equator.
Yes, 1,000 miles an hour. Again, at 0.006 RPM. And at 1 degree every 4 minutes. It doesn't spin visually as fast as you think.
And if it was spinning 1,000 at the equator, then it should be spinning different speeds at the poles, and you should have different gravitational forces or strengths, if you will. And you could sell gold
There is, but it's actually in minute quantities.
for different weights at different areas of Earth. You don't have that. It's equally at all. There's no different
Actually, no, that's not true.
weighting anywhere. It's all nonsense.
How do you know? Have you tried it? I don't think so.
Do Americans really believe this shit? Oh, absolutely they do. They're dumb as fuck.
That's not what they said, so that meme is meaningless.
Mummy, do you think Santa's fake? Of course not, honey. Too many people would have to be in on it. They'd have to be in on it.
No, because Santa Claus is a person. It's not a franchise, for crying out loud. Well, unless, technically it is, because Coca-Cola own it, and Coca-Cola kind of own, whatever. We're not going to go into that.
Shout out to my boy James. Thanks, James.
What's up?
Shout out to James. Get out of here with your formulas and mathematical theories from 350 years ago. A spinning ball won't hold water. Stop insisting.
Yes, but a tennis ball spinning like that is a little different than the planet spinning that has gravity involved. Stop using that comparison.
This guy. GPS satellites aren't real. They are TPS. They're tower positioning sensors. They use towers.
Do you understand actually what GPS stands for? Because I really don't think you do you?
And so let's see here. What you'll see here, you'll never see any of these radar images over the ocean because that's not there. They're only near.
Yeah, geez, satellites don't just point and look and then track. Satellites are connected to the ground position towers. It's how it works. Again, you don't understand how GPS works, do you?
The land, as you can see here, because there's no towers. And in fact, you could make some towers in the ocean that float, I guess, or build them.
Well, why haven't they then?
Not float, but they could build them. You could make them float, but it's GPS. So here we go. Does history record any case in which the majority was right?
Most likely, yes, I would imagine.
No.
Yes. Very much so.
Well, success, longevity, destroying belief systems. Okay, Lake Pontchartrain Causeway. And we'll put a level up to it, and guess what? The level says it's flat.
Oh, good grief.
That awkward moment when you died in
Pardon me?
1986, but a quick Google search shows you're teaching at the University of Wisconsin. 32 years later. Outer space, the place. City of Wisconsin.
I would like to point out that guy's eyes are very dark brown, and his are like a light blue / grey. They have a completely different type of nose. They have a different sort of teeth structure, different sort of chin. So you've basically taken two people that kind of look the same. His ears aren't even the same. So you're taking two people that kind of look the same and just rolled with it, I guess.
Wisconsin. War. And they never.
Place where only governments had been. Outer space. No, that's not true. Schools have sent rockets up there, but let me ask you this. I don't really think space is a viable Sunday sort of hike destination. Same goes to the South Pole. I don't really think, come on, sweetheart, let's go for a drive to moon. Let's go to the drive to the moon, and then we can probably go to Mars afterwards. It's not really that easy.
Never will. They never will. Uh-oh. My boy right here comes out with the dankest memes. In ancient times, Ptolemy observed that as a man approached a far-off mountain, it appeared to grow out of the ground. And he mistakenly took this as proof that the earth had a curved surface.
Even though, and that's a mountain, I would imagine, not a person, right? Where is it then? Because over that short distance, if this was a really flat surface, this wouldn't happen. Football pitches have something called a crown, which is there for drainage. So I would like to ask him what's causing this, because where is his body going? It's clearly behind a curve.
It appeared to grow out of the ground. Titan, angular resolution, angles down to your feet, right? And then you see from your feet to your eyes. That's what you see. Your eyes come down to your feet, and that's what you see everywhere you fucking look.
What? I have no idea what the hell he's talking about there.
And guess what looks just like this? With the consistent angular resolution here. Same thing. It's flat. Water's flat. Take a glass of water, put it in any container you want. The top of the surface is going to be flat. As for Einstein, if you want to believe that lengths shrink when an object moves, time changes in the process, and its mass increases, just so you can explain the batshit anomalies of Michelson's experiment, that's your privilege. But I just as soon answer it by saying that mass, time, length, and length stay the same, and the Earth isn't moving, and I'm just as scientific as you for saying so.
You had no idea what he was actually talking about there, do you?
By the way, you threw out the ether when there's evidence of it, so you're automatically shill alert. You're automatically, bum. You're done. You're out. You're fucking.
No, there's no evidence of the ether. The ether was always proposed because basically there needs to be substance for sound to travel through. Otherwise, sound doesn't travel. You can't hear anything in a vacuum, right? So they assumed that light does, even though we know that it doesn't. Those were the experiments. Now, let me just put it this way. The Michelson-Morley experiment, right, and Airy's failure has got absolutely nothing to do with the Earth's movement. Absolutely nothing. They were there to basically provide evidence and proof of ether. And they both failed. I don't understand why you keep on bringing that up.
And sell out. How did...
Dude, you do know you're allowed to prove stuff wrong in science. This is my thing, right? If Einstein was alive today and the theory of relativity had been proven wrong, I guarantee Einstein would be ecstatic because that means he can come up with a new one and improve upon it and do more research. Just how science works. No, what? Sorry, that's the most ridiculous idea, sort of concept and meme I've ever seen. We've understood that the Earth's been a globe for about thousands of years. And that we had maps, so they just applied it to a ball. This means nothing. How can objects at vastly different distances move in perfect unison? Huh? Understand how they move first. Because they're all rotating, as well as we do, around the galactic center. So, I have no idea what you're trying to point out here. Again, you found a meme you understand jack all about it, and you're just going with it. Like it's fact. Done.
They're close together, they're fixed to one another except for the wandering ones.
Oh, the wandering ones. Even though, thanks to astronomy, I need to remember not to say astrology because that's a completely different thing. We have found other stars that, apart from the wandering ones, that also do move. Out basically thanks to thousands and thousands, well, millions of man hours and woman hours. Okay, because there are plenty of female astronomers out there that to study the sky. We don't just look and go, yeah, that's done, it's fine. No. And the wandering ones, well, I'm assuming that you mean Mars and Venus and Jupiter. And then thanks to telescopes, we've found other ones that also move, and thanks to people in their own backyard, no less, with cameras that have taken perfectly decent pictures of these planets to show that they're not just stars.
But these batshit fuckers call planets that they think they're terrestrial with rocks. They're translucent. I can show you thousands of these pictures of any of these wandering stars that they call planets, and they're translucent. You can see right through them. You're not landing on that. You're not.
No, it's because you're just taking a shot. You're just taking a photo of the light that's reflecting off it. That's it. Done. You're not taking a photo of the physical object itself. And like I've said, I can provide you with thousands, like you just said, of photos done by amateur astronomers that show that it is a physical object and happen to match up quite well with NASA's images.
Landing on it. And the fact that all these stars move in unison fixed around the North Pole prove that they're close to one another. If they're that far away, these batshit, they can't move that way. It's impossible. They just couldn't move together like that.
What? How? Are you literally just going off what this meme is saying? Do you actually understand what you're talking about? What you've just said literally makes no sense. And it's your bias as well, because it's not the sky that's moving or the stars that's rotating around a thing. We are the ones that are moving. Did you not think of that? I really don't think you have you?
With the all right, when you almost sway some globe lovers, but then they get distracted by cartoons of Earth.
Or actual photos and decent satellite imagery. Just a thought.
Relative.
Here we go. Here's him probably going to pretend he understands what relativity is.
Relativity is clever, but it belongs to the same category as Newton's law of gravitation and the Kent-Herschel-Laplace nebular hypothesis. Jesus. And as far as it is a superfine effort of the imagination seeking to maintain an impossible theory of the universe in defiance of every fact.
Yeah, he's not understanding a word he's saying. Right, basically with relativity has passed every single test thrown at it so far. Not even quantum physics can prove it wrong. Right, according to newscientist.com, 5 to 10 seconds at Mach 4 to Mach 5G vertically typically leads to tunnel vision and a loss of consciousness. How many G's does an astronaut experience while accelerating from 0 to 25,000 miles per hour at Mach 33? Well, that's because they don't do that until they're in orbit. So, if any viewer would like to explain this to me, actually, on why they don't experience the same sort of G-force. They probably do experience sort of G-forces. But maybe it's like I said, it's a gravitational thing, so probably when they're orbiting, the G's tend to change. That's probably what it is, because basically mass is probably affected differently when you're in orbit or in 0G. I'm not particularly sure. how that works, but if anyone in the comments could probably explain that.
Above or moving, not the earth. Stars above, circle above us. The wheel in the sky keeps on turning. That's...
Are you just referencing lyrics on of songs again?
That's the celestial chandelier above us. It's a celestial luminal chandelier. Miles an hour. Putting you batshit unconscious. Their ascent to the Copernic.
They thus tactically give their assent to the... David Wadlow Scott, in which it had been first presented to them, and they've called years of discretion. They would at once have rejected.
Theory, which, if it had first been presented to them at what are called years of discretion, they would at once have rejected this retardation.
You didn't understand a word of that, did you? You're just reading off it.
But they don't. They put them in at the years of reception, or how do you say?
See, he has no idea what he's talking about. Look at him. He's confused himself. He's trying to figure out what it means.
Slightly hypnotized, very receptive in that alpha state. Okay, so here we go. You think there's people on board that thing? On board a missile? This thing is an exploding gas tank. And you think they're going to...
Yes, that's providing thrust. They're not just sitting on a bomb, the bomb explodes and they get launched up. It's a little bit different than that. How do you think engines work? Or jet planes, for example. It's a controlled explosion of thrust out the back. Same thing. Same concept. Where are you going with this?
Get on it. The fact that these teachers are still alive prove how foolish they would have been.
Even though they're not alive, and I could provide you with evidence that would suggest, but you're probably not going to listen to that anyway, are you? Because you're stuck in your belief.
And they would have been dead if they were on it.
Yes, because that one happened to actually explode.
After achieving Earth's escape velocity of 25,000 miles per hour, it should have taken Apollo 11 less than 10 hours to reach the moon. And they say it took days because they know you're retarded.
Understand how it got there first. They orbited around the Earth first, and then launched, then used basically Earth's gravity to essentially slingshot them to the moon. So they weren't traveling that fast.
And you're not going to understand this shit. They should have been there within 10 hours at that speed. They told you 2 days or days.
Please understand, you have no idea what actually went down, do you, on the on Apollo 11, on how they got there, do you?
Okay, here we go. Get them while they're young and bend their minds. That face a sci-fi junkie makes when you tell them outer space doesn't exist. We're going to Mars.
Yes, but have you provided any evidence that space doesn't exist? That would be no. So outer space can't be faked. Are you sure about that? Well, are you going to provide any evidence that that's how they do it? No, you're not, are you?
So outer space can't be faked. You sure about that, bro? Movie. And then now you're not there, or you're part of it now. Oh, I'm sorry. This strange contraction in space. Notice how they're all in harnesses. They all hold their arms because the harness is supporting their weight. And when the harness, and because they're not in this, they're pretending to be on the ISS.
So let me get this straight. So you know what it's like to be weightlessness then? So you know how probably hard it is to keep yourself fixed in one position because you're weightless. Do you know how you should act in 0G? I really don't think you do you? I don't. I don't know what it feels like. Like you said, harnesses. Please provide evidence and proof that they're using harnesses. I've yet to see anything from a flat earther that shows any sort of proof that they are using harnesses. Not even close. All they have is creased t-shirts and basically an astronaut's like finger getting caught in the pocket of something so it tugs. Oh, look at that. Proof of cables, I guess. Ugh.
Pretending to be in space.
And I have no idea, like, what's this supposed to mean?
Now, and they got their little... Are they standing on a green screen?
Even though they've probably had videos of them going through that alleged green screen. Now, again, changing the background colour to green is not proof that they're using a green screen. It blows my mind that this is all flat earthers need as proof for some reason. It's laughable. It's all they need. It's like, oh, look at that green. Oh, yeah, green screen done. Ha ha ha. Yeah, flat earth, fake X. Blah blah blah. Good grief.
All this shit behind him is fake.
Is it? You're gonna provide proof of that?
Just like a movie, a studio, they have gigantic screens that are huge. They take up the background. They're so huge. They're huge studios, and you can make it look like you're at a fucking goddamn field miles long behind you with these screens.
Yeah, but have you provided any proof that they're using green screens? No. Simply suggesting how easy it is for things to be fake and telling everyone how easy it is to be lied to is not proof of fakery and proof that you're being lied to.
And they're never there. They're never, ever, ever there.
Prove it. You haven't.
They're in the studio. They're never where the green screen behind them portrays them to be. So why do you call... No, wait. So why do you think they called it Operation Fishbowl?
You do realize they're allowed to take names from certain things as inspiration. You know, to when they name stuff. You know what I mean? And that's Operation Fishbowl. Last time I checked, fishbowls weren't upside down, and fishbowls didn't look more like snow globes.
Globetard logic, you see it flat, but this is how they portray it. That's
two different pictures. It's obviously a fisheye lens, yeah. Still not high enough to see the curve, and if you actually probably fiddle with this in Photoshop, you probably see a curve. And it's probably like a narrow angle view anyway, or probably manipulated image. How do I know flat earthers don't fake this shit, you know?
You cannot live.
He was probably meaning on a biological standpoint. And the term closed system does not mean what you think it means. I would like you to just type in the term closed system on Google and it'll come up with it for you. It's just that easy.
Leave. Do both.
So you're saying sometimes gravity makes things stick to stuff. No, that's not how it doesn't make things stick to stuff, for crying out loud. And sometimes it makes it orbit around. Oh, for goodness sake. Again, he's completely ignorant to what gravity is and what gravity does.
Because that moment you...
Yes, but Bill Nye is a science communicator. Just because some guy has more sort of, you know, fucking PhDs and certificates at One Piece and doesn't make it any different.
You
Again,
find out that
this is meaningless. Doesn't mean a thing.
Dolph Lundgren is... Damn, that's flat. You know what that is? It's flatter than piss on a platter.
Again, scale. Take scale into account, please.
It's flatter than piss on a platter. Okay, so here you go. This is the North Pole on a flat Earth. The sun is traversing around the North Pole. You are right here between the North Pole and the sun. So as it circles around you 24 hours and comes down and up, but never out of your vision, down and up, because you're not right in the center.
Yeah. How's that work on a flat Earth? How? And second of all, I would like to point out that the sun is the same size in both of them. That's like a self-debunk.
You're not right here in the center, where you would just see it go all the way around you evenly. But because you're a little off center, it goes up and down.
That's how it works on the globe.
Up and down. But you see it the whole time for 24 hours, for many 24 hours, because at this point in the sun's orbit, or in the sun's path at this
He said orbit.
time of the year, its path is that of a Christmas tree. It goes up and down and in and out, just like the shape of a pyramid or triangle. Or
How? Please give examples of the laws of motion here, on how it does this. What force is doing this? Come on, please give us the mathematical theories here. Come on, I'm waiting.
Christmas tree. So this right here is you're proving your flat Earth. Now on the end.
No, it doesn't. How on earth is this proof of flat Earth? Good grief. What else? Did he say that? Anyone point out, did William Shatner actually say that? Yes they do. Scale, again. Stop ignoring scale. Okay, that's kind of me done for this. Just going through some of the common sense sort of responses to all this bloody rubbish. But yeah, hopefully some of you guys can come up with some ideas on what to do next, and probably answer some of the questions that I asked in this video also. That would be very helpful. And I would like to see you all again. I hope to have some more videos out a bit more often. But I hope everyone has a lovely Christmas, and I hope to see you in the new year, in 2019. Alright, hope everyone has a lovely evening, and good night.